It's
And
a huge commitment.
I've been through enough to know that it takes time, it takes perseverance. There are going to be some really good days, but there are going to be some really, really low days too. To where you question things. And so I knew all of that was coming, and just really had to think about it and to decide whether or not it's something I was going to press forward with. And then had to talk with some people to say, hey, if I turned the gas on this, will you join me and will you help lead this? And that's and as a part of those discussions, I guess going back to your original question, as a part of those discussions, what came out of it is, even though we have a lot of different organizations serving the Army Ranger community, the last thing I wanted to do was start another organization. I really was thinking this would roll up under an existing organization. But what came out of those conversations is, hey, this requires its own organization so that when people give to it, they know exactly what it is that they're giving to. And there's no doubt in there where those funds are going. So that was the birth of the Ranger Legacy Foundation. And starting an organization, then there's a lot of work that you need to do to set the cornerstone up to be successful. You can start an organization really fast. Like, it doesn't require much, $1,000 and in a couple of days, and you've got an organization. But if you want to do it well and you want to set it up for sustainable success and for a big project, then you've got to start maneuvering people into place and to be able to lead, grow, influence. And it ushered in a lot more conversations that needed to take place.
That is awesome. And I pulled up I pulled up the website, and I was looking at today. I was just blown away by these sports. Actually, I've been looking at them as you've been posting them on social. And I'm like, man, I need one of these cool coats. And I'm kind of going in a completely different direction. But tell us a little bit about how is the fundraising going with it, as much as you can talk about that, and then the sports co. What's the deal with them?
Yeah. So the fundraising, I mean, it's very rare when you're going to ask somebody, how's the fundraising going? They're going to be like, great. I'm just
I know it.
So it's always slower and less than where you want it to be. And that's definitely the case here. But we've got a fairly unique situation in which we know that we are going to have a $20+ million campaign that we will officially announce. Hopefully by the end of this year, we'll be able to officially put a stamp on it and say we're in campaign. But now we're doing it as a brand new organization that had no funding, that had brand new leadership. And so in doing it that way, which I think is the best thing in the long run, there's a whole lot that you've got to establish. And people knew me in the community representing a certain organization. And so it takes time to kind of break free from that and shift.
Rebrand.
Right. And shift focus into another area, while also not taking away from anything. And I think that's important, is that I want the entire Ranger community to thrive and do well and eat well. So the last thing we want to do is come in and start throwing elbows and make room for us. And I had spent many years, I helped build events that raises significant money in the Ranger community. I helped facilitate other events that raises significant money. I created events that raise significant money for various different organizations. And so now I'm coming in in a completely different role, not wanting to injure any of that, but also having to figure out where our place is while building the foundation so we can ask for some really major dollars to go in behind this project. So I mention all that because we knew at the beginning it was going to be a phased approach, and we needed to garner audience. We didn't have any audience. Right now we're not a membership based organization, so we don't have a database. All we have are relationships, that we've got to start pulling in. And so that takes a lot of conversations as people are trying to figure out how things are fitting now and what all of this is. A lot of transparency. And if you want to be transparent, you've got to be super, super intentional about that, which creates work. Like it's none of it's like real easy.
True.
And so I broke it down into, we needed to raise $100,000 was the first goal. And that $100,000 was going to enable us to be able to start and just like run an organization and then and fund a few things that's going to help us garner audience, but then also would help seed the first initial efforts on doing some evolving the conceptual design on this and getting us closer to a finished product. We've met that goal and surpassed that goal. And so now we've moved into the second phase, which is raising $1 million. And what that $1 million is going to do, or should be able to do based on how the cards fall out, is it will allow us to purchase the land that this will go on. I'm thinking, unless we get into a situation and it's just a lot more. I mean, we are looking at properties. It's a lot more than that, but I think our best would be that it puts us in the situation where we can purchase the land and that we're able to hire the team that's going to journey with us through this. So the architect, the civil engineer, the people that's going to dig in the ground, the general contractor, a project manager, those types of things that's going to help us facilitate this project. To raise $1 million in the beginning stages, as we're trying to develop relationship with foundations and corporations and stuff, which takes a while because we've got to garner their trust. We've got to get on their roles to have them want to give to us versus some of the other initiatives that they're doing. That doesn't come in a heartbeat. Is that we developed the Camo Jacket Society. And in essence, the Camo Jacket Society should see this effort with $1 million that comes not necessarily directly from the community, because anybody can be a part of it. And we have members of corporations that are joining, and we have people outside of the Ranger community that are joining. It's funny you mentioned, hey, I want one of those jackets. It's like we do, people feel like it's just a Ranger thing, but it's not. It's folks that want their legacy tied to this legacy. And so if we sell out of that, we've raised $1 million. And I think that's an important $1 million to be able to show to private foundations, to show to major investors in this, that our community is super bought into this. Like they're so bought into it, that they're showing and wearing their pride and advocating. And so just the development of the Camo Jacket to formally get it launched was about a year effort from beginning to end. I mean, we had the strategy early on, but then how do you bring that to life? And it seems simple, right? We're doing
it's not simple.
But
that's not simple.
It's a custom tailored one-off jacket that somebody is getting, and it has been a process that my chairman Jeff Struker really, he's really taken that one on, has done such a great job.
That's amazing. Wow. So much to unpack here and for me to process, and I'm really, you are making an impact. Just to tell you that you said something earlier that maybe you weren't making an impact or you didn't feel like it, but you are. And I think that it was probably a great thing that you stepped away so you could look at the bigger, look at it from a higher ground. So I think that's really important. And now, here you are, you're back and you're really driving this Ranger Legacy Foundation, which I could see it when I don't know where it was, if it was social media or you told me about it, or I think you did tell me about it. It was on a reacquaintance call after your sabbatical. Actually, I don't think we had spoken in probably 8 years. And when I saw it, I was like, I could see this thing in my brain. Like I could see it with the grass, like I could smell the grass outside the building. So I know what's going to happen. If you're leading it, it's going to happen. I know that for a fact. And I don't just tell that to all the guests. I would say, oh yeah, you're going to make it happen, but I know you will.
Well,
for
and I
sure.
think part of that is that Ranger mindset, right? And I want people, because I'm a civilian, true, right? I don't have any military connections outside of what I've done, or the landscape that I've navigated in, and it's made such a big difference in my life and how I approach things. And it's so positive and it's so cool. And like I see people that are miserable and they don't have direction and they aren't committed to something. They don't have purpose. And
Purpose.
And I'm like, this can be like, we can help people really connect to something. And even if it's not, they come in and they get connected to Rangers and then that becomes their thing. But if they're inspired by that Ranger creed, the way that I was, that Ranger creed inspires you to greatness. It makes you, like, if you breathe it and say it, it makes you, like, instantaneously, it makes you stand up, put your shoulders back, put your chin up, and behave differently. Right? No more cowering, no more sitting down saying, woe is me. Like, get up. Like, life is hard, but we can do this. And I think that we can do that 1,000 times over with people walking into the space. And that's one of the things that motivates me. It motivates me for Rangers because it's the right thing to do for the Ranger community. But it's also the right thing to do for investing in our communities and inspire communities to something more and different as well. It's a two-pronged approach.
Love it. What's next? What's next for Candace? I know you're going to be at VETSOCIAL 25, obviously, but what's next for Ranger Legacy Foundation and also for you in the for the remainder of the year or even into 2026?
Yeah. So several key things are happening for us. I'm looking forward to VETSOCIAL and talking about I think it feels kind of frilly, the Friendology, but I tell you, it's so important. The whole concept of being connected to each other is fundamentally important. And so I get to talk about that. And so I love that. We at the Ranger Legacy Foundation, I told you we've got that $1 million goal. And, right now where we're sitting, I still feel very confident in it because, when you're prospecting, you're looking at people, there's folks that are capable, that are just kind of hovering out there and waiting. And so I know that we're getting ready to pull them into the fold. But it's still a big goal.
There's a lot of Ranger businesses out there. They better open up their wallets.
There's a lot of Rangers.
I mean, come on. Yeah, there's a lot of Rangers doing big things. I mean, come on.
we need to get to the position where
I don't want to put them on the spot, but come on. I mean,
we haven't
I'm
made
not
any
going to buy
direct
any.
asks yet. So
Don't worry, I'll
people
do
know,
it. I'll do it for you. Come on. Black Rifle Coffee. I know you're probably not watching this, but where's the money? Show me the money.
people know it's coming. People know it's coming. They say they're watching everything, and I was like, well, I haven't made any direct ask yet, but it's coming. And
you got a lot of Rangers in your radius. I'm not going to mention who, but you got a lot of them. They need to open up their wallets too, or at least make the connections.
Yeah, no,
I think they will too.
I think they will. When Rangers are great when you I don't want to say I'm giving, but when you give them a task to tackle, they're going to tackle it. When we kind of go on target for something, we're going to achieve that. And so I know that that's coming, but a part of that process is that we have submitted an RFP for architect and design work. That's out. And so for the next month, that RFP will be out. We'll start getting responses, and we'd like to be hiring that team for some pre-design work. And what I mean by pre-design is they'll take now the concept that we're in, the scope that we have now, and re-envision it into how they see it all, with their components pulling it together as well. That now we'll be able to take and say, okay, here, this is the next evolution of this, is the next iteration of this. This is now we're getting real close to what it is that we're going to do. And now we can put that in front of people and say, this is what we're asking you to invest in specifically. And that's when we're going to go out and we'll start making those direct asks for very specific investments. And a part of that is
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, and a part of that is the land. And so we're exploring land right now. Now there's a piece of land that I feel like is, and I have from the beginning, that's going to be our home, but we still need to, we need to check all those boxes. We need to look at what all is available to us and go through it and talk through it and see what that right home is. But when we can show people this is our land, and this is what we're going to do with it, and this is what it's going to take to do it. Now, this is how we're asking you to be a part of that. Then that's when we really start cooking with hot sauce. And so right now it's just maneuvering all of these pieces to kind of get to that point. Or else we'll wear people out. Like if we're out there just kind of willy-nilly asking, we're going to wear, it's like the boy who cried wolf. Like we'll wear people out before we ever get to the good stuff, True.
And you know how to leverage your network, which is robust. Let me ask you, we know plans fall apart on first contact and all of that great stuff, but let's just say in a vacuum, everything goes to plan. When will we physically see your vision manifested?
Yeah. I mean, I would like to say in 4 to 5 years, like we'll be able to open the doors to something. Will probably be in campaign 18 to 24 months is what I suspect. I would like it to be 18 months. That would be lovely. Most likely, most campaigns that I've seen and researched is that, you kind of get that big hit, and then getting that last $1 million or $2 million in takes a little bit longer. So we will most likely timeline it over 18 months. I'd love to be able to launch it by the end of this year. And then not quite sure. I won't know until we, look at the scope and timeline it. But I think we'd probably be 18 to 2 years in building out phases of the campus, the first phase of what we would be doing. But as soon as we have land, I mean, we'll be able to have events. We'll be able to start, like, you think about the good old days, like the barn raisings and people coming together under the tents. I mean, we'll start utilizing that space and leveraging the space for us. That's why it's so important that we get real serious about where that home is going to be. Amazing.
So right now I'm just Ryan off the street, I go to rangerlegacy.org. I think that's right website, right? Rangerlegacy.org.
Yeah.
What are some ways that Ryan or Bob or whoever, Sally, could get involved with the Ranger Legacy Foundation?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of ways that people can get involved. And I actually had one of my advisors say, hey, I think you need to dial it back a little bit and provide less options, at the beginning. And but one of the things that I encourage people in this project is that there is room for everybody wherever your heart wants to come into the project. And that's important to me because I've never had much financial wealth in my life. I've always had a lot more heart than I have had in dollars. And but I have always felt like I've been able to contribute to the things that I'm passionate about in the ways that I can contribute. And so I wanted to make sure that we created ways that if we had companies that wanted to provide product, that we would be able to take and leverage that project to the greater good. If we had experiences, people that had experiences, and we'd be able to leverage that. That we want to be able, we do have ways that people can contribute financially any way they can perceive giving financially. We have a method to be able to leverage that, whether that be $1 to legacy gifts. We've got that in order and ready to go. We're building now the volunteer infrastructure, which will be fairly robust. I mean, Brian, I sat down, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I think I mapped out about 25 different roles and responsibilities for various different volunteer positions, ambassadors, event volunteers, to board of advisors, to the various different committees that we'll have. So all of that has been mapped out, and now we're going into a recruitment phase for that, because if we are going to be successful, it can't happen with just a couple people. Like it has to be a full-on assault. Like
it takes a ranger community.
Yes, it's going to have to be a full-on assault, and
for
so
sure.
We're building that. What would it be? It would be like a platoon, I guess. I don't. Bigger.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Well, I think we're coming to the very end, unfortunately. But any final parting words for Vet Social Voices?
Well, just thank you. I mean, thank you, Ryan, for giving us the opportunity, all of us, the opportunity to have voice. I think that that's such a special thing, and to have conversations and to be connected. And I just love hearing from people. I love exploring all relationships. And it's very rare if we connect with each other, that we can't find a way, even if it's not at that moment, we don't find our way back to figuring out how to support each other. And you are somebody that does so good at, you're constantly tapping at things, and you're constantly looking at how to connect people and create alignment. And so anybody that feels any kind of draw to an alignment in something that we're doing here, I'd love to talk to them, and
I'll do it.
Yeah, and figure out.
I keep on interrupting you. Sorry. No, I took 100%. I will, and I think anyone who's watching this at this point should definitely think about how they can contribute, really collaborate. I believe in collaboration, communication, and grit. Those are my 3 guiding values. So hopefully there are people that find alignment with it. I mean, this is there's always people looking to give back, whether it's to the, to the veteran community or just to the community as a whole. And this could be one way of doing it, so that's amazing. So thank you. I mean, it's a little late, so I appreciate it. And you were a good sport about me saying, let's fire it up with no, just let's do it. Let's just fire it up. We'll have 0 people on there. We did have a few people show up, but I don't think they liked my mug. So, but actually, I was going to tell you, and this is true, your talk on friendology from VETSOCIAL 24. I uploaded that onto Spotify. I'd cut it and uploaded it. And that actually was one of the most listened to and downloaded episodes of it. So you got a whole through. No, just kidding. It was a couple hundred. So the word is getting out there, Candace, about your new philosophy. So no, but thank you. And until next time, I'm going to kick you out, and we'll definitely chat soon and catch up. I'm really excited about you coming back to VETSOCIAL 25 and being a part of. You're being a part of my thing, my give back, and I couldn't do it without people like you and the rest of the community as a whole. Just would not happen, and it's just amazing when I get to collaborate, align with so many awesome people. So thank you.
Well, thank you for what you do.
All right. Wow. Just a tremendous human being. And definitely head over to rangerlegacy.org and check it out. And I'm telling you, if you can swing one of those camo jackets and be part of their Camo Jacket Society, you might look pretty suave in that. I could see some young bucks with the camo jackets headed to the club. I'm sure that's not exactly what Ranger Legacy Foundation wants, but it would still be pretty cool altogether. So rangerlegacy.org, head over there. And again, of course, this is VETSOCIAL, so we have to really just hammer it home that on 12 and 13 September, come join us. Veteran Social Summit. Do I even know where we're going? VeteranSocialSummit.com. I got this under control. Seriously, though, head over there. The registration's free, so head over there for free. It's not going to hurt you to register. It's not going to hurt you. And I'm telling you, 70 speakers. I can't even believe I'm saying this. I don't even know how we're going to pull it off. 70 speakers are going to bring just crazy amounts of value. How can you beat that? And it's free. Are you kidding me? We have so many amazing people. Okay, enough of, all of that. I want to thank you again. And we're out for now. Let me end this and have a good evening or a good day, whenever you're listening to this, and start climbing higher.
So when I met Ryan Hunt and Annette Wittenberger, they kept talking about this amazing idea that they had previously been successful at, but it had been paused and they wanted to keep going with it. And they were talking about how veterans can learn resources about entrepreneurship, education, really connecting with our fellow veteran community and being successful. So obviously I wanted to be a part of that. And I am really excited to be a part of 2025 because we are going to have even more amazing speakers and resources